What is up? What is up, Hoofers? It is another episode, another week of the Hoof podcast live on the Cover One Network. I'm joined by my two amazing, handsome, sexy, white hosts.
What are you calling white?
Crack on, cracker. Anthony Romeo NY. What is good, my G? What's good? How you doing?
What's going on, my man? I'll remind you that I am Hispanic. So, yeah, I'm white, but I'm Hispanic. So, I get a little points there anyway.
I know. It's like all y'all want to be Cherokee Indians, but you ain't.
Well, this is legit. My grandfather was from today.
And then, no, I'm just giving you crap. And then, Eric, what's good, man?
Still
How
white.
you doing?
What's going on? What's going on? I'm as white as they get.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Ned Flanders. You definitely are.
Did the 23andMe, and it's like, yep, you're white.
White.
Yeah.
It's like DNA analysis comes back.
Yeah.
He's so white. Ghosts came back on his DNA.
I know. You white AF, bro.
0.05% dance moves. Yeah.
You got 2-inch vertical.
Really
Credit
good at
score
shooting threes.
Your credit score is 800. Anyway, y'all get me started in here. What is good? We're excited. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Later in the show, we're gonna preview the Houston Texans, and it's like, what do they do well? They don't do shit well. I'm sorry.
They lose well. They lose well.
I think I've watched every single Texans game, 3 games, and I'm just, when Tyrod was in there, now you throw Davis Mills in there, and you're just like,
all hope is lost. Yeah.
It's like, It's like, what are we looking at today, people?
I mean, Tyrod had some flashes, though. I was a little nervous with Tyrod in there. They're a different team with him.
What?
They were.
Nervous?
I mean, not nervous, but they're a better team than
they're definitely
what I
better.
thought. I mean, I came into the season thinking the Texans would be one of the worst teams in the league, right? But with Tyrod, they were kind of middle of the pack, it seemed like.
Yeah, no, they were fun. I mean, because, it's like fun to root for Tyrod Taylor. And then you take him out and you're like, and then I look at their head coach, you're like, David Culley? Oh, no.
He's clearly a 1 year and done probably head coach. Or maybe 2 if they let him go that long. But I don't think that he was the guy that they wanted long term. I think he's the space filler that ended up with the job for now. We'll see.
I don't know.
Not going on there behind the scenes.
But hey, so why don't we do some shout outs real quick? We got Reptile in the house. He says, hi, Hoofers. What's up? The real Chris Janke up in here. He says, happy I can catch my Hoof brothers tonight. Eric Anthony, and of course, Jeffrey Pizzle. You already know. NYAP in the 716. Yo, let's go. Josh is back. Yeah, we're going to talk about Mr. Allen here. And G Sills, what's going on? Heather's in the house. That's mighty white of you. Yes, Eric. Very mighty white of you. Mighty white of you. But that's okay. We're all jolly. We're all happy. I only bring up race because I grew up in the South, and we just make fun of everybody. Like everybody. I catch it. We all catch it. It's just fun, man. If you can't laugh at yourself, what are you doing here? Don't take life so seriously. It's totally fine. It's all good. But just to let you guys know, we are happy to be here tonight on the Cover One Network. And before we continue, let's go ahead and pay some bills here. Underdog Fantasy. You can start drafting minutes for a shot at big cash prizes. No extra costs. Download our apps. Okay, it's the best place to play fantasy football. Fantasy sports, including best ball, daily drafts, and pick'em. Start drafting in minutes for a shot at big cash prizes. If you use the code Cover1, they will match up to $10 on your first deposit. So be sure if you're trying to get that loot, if your old lady's like, you never take me on a date no more, you're kind of boring. You be like, baby, look, I'm gonna go on and download Underdog Fantasy. I'm gonna win me a couple stacks, and I'm gonna take you to Sizzler. I'm gonna take you to go get that steak that you wanted. Okay,
pick 5 of the over-unders. You get $200.
We're going to talk about that later. Anthony's going to have you covered.
Wait. What is Sizzler?
Bruh. You don't know what? In the comments, y'all let Eric know what Sizzler is. Because obviously,
Anthony, do you know what Sizzler is?
Anthony don't know. Neither one of y'all know what the Sizzler is. Somebody in the chat, tell my guys, because they're uncultured, right? They only know Golden Corral. Okay. All right.
I'll see it. Longhorn Steakhouse. That's right.
Longhorn Steakhouse. You can take you can take your side chick to Burger King. If she's easy like that, bro. You can go on and give her a Fanta orange and we straight. So anyways, but it's White Man Can't Jump, man. It's just, you got to watch the movie if you haven't watched it. Eric, you got that 2-inch vert. You should know about that movie.
That was a good movie.
That was a great movie.
I haven't seen that in probably 10 years though, so I kind of forgot the.
It's like my older siblings era. They love that movie, but yeah, it's a good movie.
But no, anyways, man. So yeah, we're just chopping it up, man. Like I said, we're happy to be here on the Cover One Network. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in to the Hoof Live podcast. And without further adu, we're gonna get into everything going on. Just to let you guys know, if you guys want to contribute to the show and you want us to read your actual comments, you can do a super chat. That's still available. So, we will, funny stuff I'll read or whatever. But, if you really want to get something through, make sure that you do a super chat. Information is below. So, with that being said, why don't we go ahead and hop over to What's Poppin'? For those of you who are new to the show, this is the segment that we call What's Poppin'. This is where we go the latest and the greatest on NFL news and topics. Okay. My guys do not get to see what I'm going to present, what we're going to talk about. Fellas, are you ready?
Let's go, baby. What do you got for us?
All right, here we go. Topic number 1. The Chiefs lose to the Chargers 30-24. Patrick Mahomes, 260 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 picks. Now, if anybody out there, there's a site called Tally Site where you can contribute your picks or you can watch all of our picks. And last week, the Hoof podcast was numero uno in the nation. We beat the likes of ESPN, NFL Network, Thins Insider. I can go on and on and on. We were on Complex as the number 1 contributing Pick'em podcast in the nation. Just so you know, these 3 guys, okay, Ebony and Ivories, that's plural. We killed it last week. And also, Jeffrey P. Danger, was the only guy in the nation that had the trifecta with the picking the Chargers to win, having the spread and the money line. Yours truly. I'm just telling y'all. Anthony he's a shark in his own right, but I'm coming up the ranks, okay?
So
overall,
do you not like money?
Listen.
That's pretty risky. What were the odds, I wonder?
All I'm saying is your boy out here, look, I'm ranked number 10, okay? Ranked number 10 in the nation right now. Well, that's all I'm saying. I had to toot my own horn. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
there you go. Nothing wrong with that. And we're all up there. We're still up there. I don't know if they've come out with the rankings for this week's picks, but we are still up there in the rankings for the week because we all did very well.
All the way up. So you guys, what the Chargers have lost 2 straight games. I mean, not the Chargers, the Chiefs. Sorry, the Chiefs have lost 2 straight games, and it feels amazing.
Yeah,
Eric, I'm gonna let you start it off, Eric. And then Anthony, I definitely want to hear what you have to say on the topic.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that Pat Mahomes with 260 yards and 3 touchdowns is a bad game. But I think they just seemed a little sloppy. I think the Chargers came in motivated. It's easy to be a little overconfident if you're Pat Mahomes, and some things come out with the media. They're always going to find something. And I think the Justin Herbert comment that he made, that I'll believe it when I see it. I think he's seen it, and I think that was added motivation for the Chargers. This Chargers team is talented across the board. Look, Justin Herbert is one of those guys, right? He's going to be, I think he will be soon the top 5 quarterback. He's definitely top 5 in the AFC. And I mean, this Chargers team, I think they're next up. I think they could take over the division maybe the next few years. Not this season, but next few years if they do things correctly.
Okay. Anthony?
Yeah. This was just icing on the cake, baby. I mean, come on, the Chiefs lose. Have you heard of the Golden Weekend? This was the Golden Weekend for the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, the Bills won, which is always most important, but the Chiefs lost. The Patriots, Jets, and Dolphins all lost. The Steelers lost. I mean, it could not literally have gotten much better.
Tom Brady
for the Buffalo
lost.
Bills. Tom Brady lost. I mean, it's unbelievable. This was absolutely a Bills fans' dream scenario weekend. I'm calling it the Golden Weekend for the Bills. Every scenario we wanted to happen. And I'm going to go back for this game in particular, the Chargers and the Chiefs, to what I said last week. The Chiefs are beatable, period. These teams that beat them, both played them tough. Both were pretty close games. Neither was like a blowout, but they know how to beat the Chiefs. You got to, they're very vulnerable on defense. You've got to be able to score points. We know that to hang with Chiefs. But Patrick Mahomes definitely hasn't looked himself these past few games. And like Eric said, 3 touchdowns and nearly 300 yards. That's a bad game. I mean, most teams would sign up for that all day. It's those 2 interceptions that are very uncharacteristic of Patrick Mahomes. One last week, and they've all been very costly and led to points for the other team or, in big-time scenarios when you really needed it. So that is the part that is more surprising to me, at least. Not that the Chiefs are beatable, not even that the Chargers beat the Chiefs, because like Sterling alluded to, we talked last year about giving the Chargers motivation to want to beat you even more by saying, I'll believe it when I see it, or I'll see it when I believe it, or something, whatever he said backwards. It's certainly a good sign for the Bills, because we play this Chiefs team in a couple weeks, and we know we have to be ready for it, but their backs are going to be up against the wall, and we could be just hitting our stride, and that's a good combination for the Buffalo Bills.
I haven't watched a lot of Chargers this year. Is Derwin James playing?
Yes, he is.
He is.
I'm a big fan of Derwin James, man. I love that guy, but I just really, just to rub it in real quick, I just want to, can we take a second to digest what we're seeing here? I don't know who in their, great power decided to put this graphic up here, but let's just, everybody at home, let's just take a good old second here and crowd around the campfire and let's look at this beautiful AFC West standing, shall we, guys? So, you know how like when you're in school and the teacher has the on the chalkboard, she's, they're like when you're doing the alphabet, they're like A, and she smacks the A. Let's look at the Raiders, 3-0. And doesn't that look great? Look, 90 points. They scored 90 points. They've given up 72 points. They're 2-0 at home. Okay. Next up, we have the old Denver Broncos. I think we all know they're right in my backyard. They are also 3-0. They have played a weak-ass schedule, but hey, guess what? They've scored 76 points, and they've allowed 26. Okay. Hey, we're not even done yet. LA Chargers here. Woo, 2-1. Hey, look at that, guys. 2-1. Points for 67 and points against 60. And then guess what we see on the bottom? The Kansas City fucking Chiefs. I said it. 1-2, right? And John Madden is one of the great philosophers of our time. He always says, if you score more points, you'll usually win. Well, guess what? Points for 92 points. They've given up 90 freaking 5 points.
That disparity between the Broncos points allowed and the Chiefs points allowed, 75-point difference. That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Should we sound the alarm? Because I'm loving it. I don't care if the Chiefs win every other game.
Defense is vulnerable. Yeah. And that's the thing, right? How many analysts, came into this season saying the Chiefs are still the team to beat, nobody's going to beat them, and they're going to make it to the Super Bowl, or they'll at least be in the AFC Championship game. Maybe a few pick the Bills to beat them, but they're supposed to be the unbeatable ones, and they're last in the division. That was a really good graphic to put up, because we might be it looks upside down, doesn't it? Most expected it to be the exact opposite. The Chiefs in first, the Chargers in second, the Broncos, and maybe the Raiders.
A lot of games left.
Flop them. There's still a lot to go on, but that is really funny to see.
And you know what, guys? For all their woes on defense, you know what the solution to their problem was this week? They said, you know what? We're going to go out and sign Josh Gordon.
Yeah, that'll fix everything.
Josh Gordon.
He's allowed to play now?
That's your solution? Listen, I'm all about giving a guy a second chance, and in Josh Gordon's case, a 15th chance, my guy.
Yeah.
For whatever reason it is. Why? I mean,
Josh Gordon's 30 for 30 is going to be like a 10-part series. That's going to be a long one.
How old is he now? I mean, right.
So many ups and downs.
In, out, suspended. He's been suspended for like 10 seasons
man.
now.
Look, man. I'm happy. I'm happy for him like that.
Yes.
He keeps trying, but brother. Hey, at some point, dog, you got to stop smoking weed. I mean, God gave you the body of a African king like Samson, bro. Like, you gotta just stop smoking weed. I mean, like, I'm
too late for him. It's
too late.
His chances are already gone.
Josh Gordon, man, I hope you ball out.
He's gonna get us 4 games in, and then
I think he tests positive without even smoking it at this point. He just if they test him, it's like, this is in your system so much.
They might as well. Hey,
he's just waiting for the NFL to change. That's it. He's gonna wait him out.
Charles G, in the words of Stephen A, stay off the weeds. Hey, listen. This shit is funny. I don't care what anybody says. Look, sign somebody on defense. Go out and get a cracked out Lawrence Taylor too, because you don't have a pass rush. That's all I'm gonna say. Go get him too, because he needs a job.
You know what? We're making fun of these no-name guys. I don't know if it's one of your topics, but I had to bring it up. I will give you $1,000 if you can name one of the Tennessee Titans receivers who caught a pass in this game. 3 touchdowns by the Tennessee Titans. All 3 were by Ryan Tannehill, 2 receivers, 3 different guys. A.J. Brown was hurt in the first quarter. It was not A.J. Brown. He had to sit down.
Julio.
Was not Julio Jones.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah, no. These guys, I swear to God, nobody has heard of any of these guys.
Let's hear it
again.
Let's
Here we
hear
go. The three guys who caught touchdown passes, and I could not believe this when I saw it. I'm like, are these real names or is this some kind of typo? The first one was Nick Westbrook Ickheim.
Oh, wait. Hit me with that one more time.
His first name's Nick. His last name is Westbrook Ickheim.
Ickheim? Nick Westbrook? Man, let me Google
Ickheim.
this.
Yes, right. Yeah, that's right. He's absolutely one of the elite wide receivers in the NFL, right? This Jeremy McNichols. Of course, you remember Jeremy McNichols, star of the draft, first round pick back in what year again? Oh yeah, forget. And then another one, Chester Rogers. Chester Rogers. So who would have guessed that the Tennessee Titans, first of all, I mean, obviously they have Derrick Henry. He's the star of the show. They had 3 touchdowns. All 3 were from Ryan Tannehill, all 3 to different receivers. And those guys I just named, I did not make those up. I did not put in a random word generator. Those are legitimate receivers on the Tennessee Titans that I have never heard of and have no idea who the hell they are. I thought it was a practical joke. I'm like, wait a minute.
Defenses have to use all their resources to stop Derrick Henry.
Yes, and
Jones,
obviously Julio.
A.J. Brown. I mean,
Brown was out.
That's overwhelming for defenses to play that team.
Well, Tennessee
who benefits?
Indy certainly didn't stop.
Practice squad guys, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Makes sense.
I could not believe these. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't even know if any of these guys were draft picks at any point. Like, I have no idea who they are.
Because their game plan, you're like, we don't even have to worry about this guy.
It's just absolutely
let him go.
Nuts. I mean, good on them for being able to still have a pass game with no-namers. I mean, Ryan Tannehill, and again, a lot of that has to do with Derrick Henry, but just that was my favorite stat line of the week. I looked at that and I'm like, who? What? That's a real person in the NFL? Like, seriously, unbelievable story.
So your guy, Chester Rogers, that's his name. That's his real name.
Yeah.
Look, hold on. I got something for you real quick. I got something for you. Let me go ahead and take this off the screen for y'all real quick, because I'm gonna show y'all who Chester Rogers is, because I didn't know who Chester Rogers was. I had no freaking clue who Chester Rogers is. But this is Chester Rogers, this guy right here. You guys are gonna and Anthony, thank you for bringing that up. This is Chester Rogers. My guy Chester Rogers caught a touchdown pass on Sunday. Chester probably owns like Chester's fried chicken joints. That's probably his side business. Like, he sounds like he owns chickens. Chester Rogers. That's my guy.
Chester's Chickens. Yeah,
I need a Chester Rogers jersey. I need a Chester Rogers jersey. Thank you for bringing that to light. And to say all that, the Chiefs are 1-2, and I'm freaking loving it. And yes, I'm gonna talk my shit right now. I know the Bills play the Chiefs in a couple weeks and whatever. But look, I'm gonna have fun with it right now. Okay, so that's all I'm saying. Moving on to other topics here. The Rams beat the Bucks 34-24. Matthew Stafford was 27 of 38, 343 yards and 4 touchdowns. My guy was dealing. Okay. Deshaun Jackson looked like he dipped his feet in the fountain of youth because he was torching fools. Okay. And there's a little stat that I wanted to bring up here. Tom Brady was the leading rusher for the Tampa Bay Bucks on Sunday for a whopping 3 carries for 14 yards.
Wow.
What say you, Anthony? Because you hate Tom Brady.
Oh, this is beautiful, right? Oh, and this sets up later very nicely, believe it or not. But wow, this was absolutely. First of all, this was the game of the week. I think Sterling and I talked about it last week. Wow, this could be the NFC Championship game. It's that good of a matchup. So, and the football did not disappoint. But wow, you said it, man. The Rams. The Deshaun, like finding the fountain of youth, and then the best part was the Bucks and Tom Brady not being able to do what Tom Brady does best and bring back his team. There were moments when you felt it like, oh, here we go, Tom Brady's going to do something, but no, he couldn't. Not against that defense, not against them guys, right? And he got hit a couple of times, and it's still my favorite play in all of football is Tom Brady getting sacked. It's just so much fun. Nothing makes me happier than Tom Brady getting sacked. It's the best. And he definitely got sacked in the game, and he had pressure in his face, and usually he does well on pressure, but he couldn't throw it to anybody, and he threw it into the ground, or he threw intentional grounding, or he got sacked. And oh, was it a great thing to see. As I said, Eric did include this as part of my golden weekend for the Buffalo Bills, that Tom Brady also lost and got his butt kicked, really. And I'm sure we've all seen the video of him on the sideline cursing up a storm. Mother effing god dang. He was not too happy, and for good reason, obviously. But that team is still a really good team, and they're going to be contending. And yeah, we have a lot to talk about them later.
It's the same story with Tom Brady, though. You take away the running game, and at his age, I don't know if he can carry the team. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of question marks with that. But I mean, having Jalen Ramsey certainly helps. Having Aaron Donald, who was very disruptive in this game, really helps. I think the Rams just really match up well with the Bucs, and not a lot of teams do, right? I think the Buccaneers are probably the most balanced team in the entire league, and the Rams went in there and punched them in the mouth. So, I mean, it's nice to see there's other contenders in the NFC.
And Matthew Stafford, I mean, we got to give Matthew Stafford a shout out here. He not only beat Tom Brady, he beat that team, but he looked great. He looked the part. This is what we saw him do in Detroit all the time. It was just the other team would score 40 points, and he would put up 30, and it wouldn't be good enough. And now here he is against Tom Brady with a defense that can actually play against somebody like Tom Brady, and he got the best of him. It was the passes were on. Oh my God, they were beautiful, beautiful game.
And one of the cool things I really appreciated about Matthew Stafford in his game, his ability to extend plays, and he was just surgical on third down. I mean, they had a few third down longs, in the second half, and he found guys, and man, that's what you want to see from your franchise quarterback. If you guys listen to the Herd, he talked about the story with Kroenke and how all that kind of originated. And he was, he gave Les Snead and their coach, the go ahead to just, go whatever it takes, go get Matt Stafford. If you feel like that's your guy, go get him. And it's paying dividends. I mean, the Rams look like a legitimate contender. And for whatever people want to say about the salary cap, the Rams pretend like it just doesn't exist and they just go get whoever they want. For the fans, it's fun, and you just hope that, they take their Super Bowl window very seriously, whatever that means to you. But, it looks like it's working, man. It's I don't always agree with giving away all your damn picks, right? Because, you want to build for the future. But they're finding ways to skirt, building the team properly by draft capital and so forth. So they definitely every year are going to have conversations about what they're going to do cap wise. They're going to have some big contracts coming up here soon. So, but hey, it's only today, and they don't have great.
They don't have a first round pick until like 2050 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, They ain't never gonna have Chester Rogers ain't gonna be in the first round pick. So oh man, it's just funny though. But yeah, kudos. Hey man, kudos to the Rams, man. You beat the Super Bowl champions. And that's a huge game. No matter how you slice it, it's a big game. That could be the NFC Championship game right there. Preview. Yes. So I mean,
we could be playing one of them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'd prefer for the Buccaneers not to be in the playoffs, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun.
That's not going to happen. They're definitely in the playoffs.
All right, coming up next here. So we want to talk. I have a little something that I stole. If you guys watched The Herd, you might have saw this today. Every freaking week, Colin does his power rankings on The Herd, and you see he has the Cowboys at 10, Raiders at 9, Arizona 8, Cleveland at 7, Kansas City at 6, Green Bay 5, Broncos. I don't agree with that one at 4.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Tampa Bay at 3, the Bills at 2, and LA at 1. Do you guys agree with Colin Cowherd's assessment of the top 10 teams in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, I always think I like Colin Cowherd because he's not afraid to tell you what he thinks, and he gives justified reasons for it. So I'm okay with it. I didn't hear him explain this particular top 10. There's a couple in there that threw me off. Certainly the Broncos were a little too high for my liking, and I'm high on the Broncos this year and have been from the beginning. So that seems a little bit high to me, and there's some teams in there that he might need to explain. But if you're talking about putting the Rams ahead of the Bills at this point, in terms of how they played and on paper right now, absolutely I'm okay with that. The Bills should be number 2. And would the Bills beat the Bucs? Maybe some people have the Bucs at 2 and the Bills at 3. Certainly looking at the picture in the AFC, I don't know that there's a team above the Bills in the AFC in the ranking system at this point, because the other team that was there was Kansas City. And as we've stressed already on the beginning of the show, they've faltered out of the gate right now. And the Bills have started, even though we lost to Pittsburgh in week 1, we have started to show that we are that team and we are legit. And we'll see what happens coming up. But yeah, I got to give him credit for being bold and getting to the headlines with some of his decisions. But I'm okay with that top 3.
Yeah,
okay.
Top 3. It's just I feel like the Bills haven't really played a really challenging team. And I know they lost to Pittsburgh. I know the offense has been sloppy. But like, think about Big Ben's 40. They played Tua and Jacoby Brissett and Tyler Heineke. The Rams going in and beating Tampa Bay tells you something, that they are a legit team. I don't think the Bills have really done that yet. And there's a lot more football left. They had one great week, firing on all cylinders, so it is very intriguing. Josh Allen looked phenomenal. Their offense was really impressive. But after they play Kansas City and Tennessee, we'll know where the Bills are. Exactly. So I think they might be a little high on the Bills right now, in my opinion.
I think the Bills are right where they need to be. Number 2, I mean, this is the NFL, and teams are going to play. They're going to have bad games, and the Bills had a bad game offensively week 1. We talked about that ad nauseum a few weeks ago. From offensive line standpoint, rhythm, they didn't have consistency at all, and you got to give kudos to the Steelers. They had a great game plan. They had all year to plan that game plan, right? So it just didn't go their way. And it had all of us worried, right? It had us worried about, okay, well, what, is Josh Allen going to come back to form? Great. The defense has resurged, but this offensive line was putrid, right? And so we've seen, and it kind of brings us up to our next topic, but we've seen the Bills kind of just get better as they go along, right? And so with all that being said, this brings us up to the Inside Slant. This is the part of the show where we talk about our Buffalo Bills and what's going on. The recap from Sunday's game against Washington football team. This is the Inside Slant. So with that being said, 3 takeaways from Sunday. Let's we're going to get our own perspectives here. What and 3 perspectives, 3 takeaways, something that you liked, something that you appreciated. Eric, we'll start with you on this topic. What is something that you enjoyed?
Do you want me to give you 1, or do you want me to give you 3?
1.
Okay, 1. So I'll give you a good one. I think the Bills might have a run game.
Okay.
Maybe.
There you go.
I think leaning more towards yes than no, because I think for the first time in a long time, they didn't rely on Josh Allen to run the football. 4 carries, 9 yards for Josh Allen. And the running backs combined 24 carries, 86 yards. Moss was double what Singletary had in yards per carry, but Singletary got carries early. I think the defense stepped up and shut him down early, and then Moss kind of took over in the second half. But I think as a whole, they could effectively run the football in this game, and that's intriguing because we know that was a big point in the offseason. So it's nice to see that Josh Allen isn't the running back anymore, or at least this week. We'll start there.
Yeah. Okay, Anthony, what you got?
Well, I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit here and say we're back in the saddle again, right? Josh Allen, baby. Wow. This is the MVP that everybody's talking about. This is the Josh Allen we saw last year. 5 total touchdowns, 4 passing, 1 rushing, and he probably could have got more if they wanted to. And that 5th one made me laugh so hard because Josh Allen did not want to run that football in. He wanted that 5th passing touchdown. Twice and now 3 times in his career, he has had 4 passing touchdowns, but he's never had 5 passing touchdowns in a game. And he wanted that last one so badly. He wanted to see somebody open, but the Washington football team put all their guys back and basically said, please run this in, Josh Allen. We're not letting you pass it a 5th time. So he got every look, and then he's like, all right, I guess I got to run it in. And it was so half-hearted because you could just see it that he wanted to throw that 5th pass. But there he goes again, 5 touchdowns, unbelievable game. The accuracy, the command, the control, the poise in the pocket. Even when those guys, some of the best pass rushers in football on that team, were coming at him and were getting to him, he was still poised and able to get the ball away and able to make the play happen, which is a lot of what we've asked of Josh Allen over the past few years. And he did it all right in this game. It was phenomenal, Josh Allen, in this.
Yeah.
And what about his chemistry development with Emmanuel Sanders? That was all Josh Allen. He was able to find the receivers that were open. 11 catches to Cole Beasley, a new career high for him. The pass plays to Emmanuel Sanders, 2 touchdowns, huge plays by Sanders in this game. That was all Josh Allen saying, all right, we need to do this. I need to step it up. I need to get this done. I need to find Cole Beasley when he's open. I need to find that chemistry with Emmanuel Sanders. Anything he wanted to do, he was able to do in this game. That's the MVP Josh Allen that we all know. So all that, them people talking last week that were worried, is Josh Allen not going to be the guy we thought he was now? They're like, oh, okay, maybe he is now.
Yeah, and one of the things that, we pointed out last week, Anthony, was I mentioned that Washington, they're not disciplined in their rush lanes. We knew that they were going to be aggressive coming off the edge there. And you saw Chase Young take some bad angles. Montez Sweat took some bad angles. And when you do that against a mobile quarterback and a smart quarterback like Josh Allen, he's going to make you pay. That's the last thing that you can do. And we saw him, like you mentioned, step up in the pocket. And we saw him, step up in the pocket and step outside. And then here we go. It's Josh Allen's playground. Anthony and Eric, we talked about this a lot. Wyoming right. Well, Wyoming right worked on Sunday, throwing a dart to Emmanuel Sanders. Right. And in the back of the end zone. I mean, that was an amazing
30 yards too. That wasn't
beautiful.
Yeah. It looks like a little flick of the wrist, but I mean that thing's
effortless. And then you see the other touchdown pass to Emmanuel Sanders where he threw that so hard. Like, it just took the life. It's like that boy's soul came out of him when he caught that pass.
Half of those series were into the wind. And the announcers were like, guys, Josh Allen's making that look easy, and it's super windy down here. And I'm telling you, that's an incredible pass right now.
You can see the Washington defense was just defeated. How do you guard a guy like Josh Allen?
They had no answer.
They're winning in the middle. The guys in the middle, the defensive tackles are getting good penetration, and Josh just steps up, steps out, and makes a great throw. I mean, it's just so frustrating, to play a guy like Josh,
Yeah.
What do? If you blitz him, he'll make you pay. If you play back, he makes you pay, either with his legs or a short pass. He's getting smarter and more confident. And then that's one thing I kind of noticed. He looks so comfortable in this game that, I'm excited for the future, obviously, as we all are.
And, one of the cool things about this game, one of the matchup wise, we talked about, Washington, they're kind of weak at linebacker as far as knowing what their, what their coverage assignments are. We saw these linebackers kind of get confused. The middle of the defense was a problem, in the back seven in terms of like the linebackers and the coverage on the back end. I love the fact that Dable kind of dialed it back for Josh Allen, and they got some crossers going, like some easy outs for Josh. You saw Stephon Diggs make some plays. You saw, Cole Beasley had a bevy of catches, 11 catches, I believe, for 98 yards. And that's what you need. I mean, if Josh Allen needs rhythm, you have to get manufactured touches for Cole Beasley short.
Yes.
And Josh Allen took another step as far as his growth, kind of getting back to what he knows and not being afraid to throw the ball to the flat. Even though it was a fourth down, he threw it to Devin Singletary. Although Devin Singletary didn't make the play, I appreciated that. I appreciated the fact that they got, Isaiah McKenzie going on some jet motion, and he kind of threw him that pass on a third down, and he made a play. That's the kind of stuff, like, I felt like they were overcomplicating playing offense the first 2 weeks, and they kind of got back to what they're good at. Just let him play, let them do their thing. So hopefully we can kind of see them build on this. And like you guys mentioned, Zach Moss played a great game. He was a hot hand today. And you see people talk about, well, Moss is running back one. Okay, Devin Singletary played 2 hell of a games. He played 2 really good games.
Yeah, he did.
They're just playing the hot hand. This is something that they did in Carolina with James Stewart and those guys. It just week to week, man. So, Moss had the hot hand this week. And I'll say this about Zach Moss. Did you guys see the juke that he put, that little juke that he had over the middle? Man, that was a beautiful thing. It was good to see him use his quick feet to kind of evade a defender and get some more yards after catch. So I love what I saw from the offense from Sunday.
I noticed when the gap closes, he can still make plays, right? That's one thing that's very intriguing for a big guy like Zach Moss, because he's a thumper, right? But he doesn't just hit the hole. If the hole's not there, he's athletic enough, agile enough to cut it to the outside. If you look at the NFL next-gen charts for these 2 running backs, you'll notice Zach Moss cuts to the outside, and he'll gain 10 to 15 yards in a run. I mean, that's something, we didn't see a ton last year, but it looks like, you definitely watch him in the draft process. You could see the ability.
You guys know that I've been on board all along that Singletary and Moss are good enough to lead this team and do what we need to at running back. No running backs drafted, no running backs needed. Matt Breida made the team, and he was inactive on Sunday because Moss and Singletary are the ones who are good enough to lead this team and make the plays. And as Sterling said, it doesn't have to be both of them. Only one of them hot hand. Okay, right. 2 games in a row was Singletary. Today, that game, it was Moss. So beautiful thing to see that the running game is working, because you need that to keep the pass game friendly as well. So there's at least the threat of the run.
Right. Yeah, exactly what I was going to mention. Go ahead, Sterling.
In the chat, y'all gotta stop talking about the damn Sabres. Okay, they suck ass, and they're gonna be picking number 1 overall with the lottery. Stop talking about the Sabres because they're trash. Eichel lost his captaincy. Like, we're done talking about the Sabres. Get out of here with that mess. Don't nobody care about the damn Sabres. Like, everything was happy until I look over there and I see the Sabres in a shootout. Like, what? Don't nobody care about the Sabres. I'd rather see paint dry. Get out of here with that. Anyway, moving on the show here. We're moving right along. The offensive line was something that was cause of concern that I think, not just us on the show, but I think, Bills fans around, we were kind of worried about the offensive line, and they held their own against a dominant 4 pass rushers. They're good in run defense. They just haven't found their groove, and I'm speaking of Washington football team as a defense as a whole, right? Stella got her groove. Our offensive line got their groove, and yes, by all means, baby, I'm unavailable. So no, we're not doing that. Anyways, but the offensive line, they played well this week. So you guys have any comments on the offensive line?
Yeah, that first drive, I texted you guys in our group message. I was actually because Sterling and I had spoke about it on the show, the offensive line was key in this game. I was watching the offensive line carefully in that drive, and I've never really done that before. It's hard to focus on the offensive line when your main thing is like, watch the ball. What's going on? What's Josh Allen doing? Where are the receivers? But I really spent, I kept my eyes. And one thing I saw that especially that opening drive that we scored the touchdown on, Cody Ford did a great job on that opening drive. And against that defense, again, those are some really great pass rushers. They only had to be good, not great. I don't think they were amazing. I don't think they were great. But they did good things at the right times and did exactly what they had to. No holding penalties here, right? There wasn't any crazy stuff like that. They were able to maintain. Those pass rushers did get to Allen. They did get some pressure, but Allen had enough time to make his decision to still stay poised. So I was really impressed overall with the offensive line, especially from where they had come and seeing them in this game, again, you want to see that improvement week to week. And we definitely saw that in this one, especially for me. Cody Ford was the one that I was really watching and saw that from.
Cody Ford, his first drive was good, but he struggled at times. I mean,
he did. Again, it's hard.
Yeah. I mean, but he's going up against some really, really tough defensive linemen there. Spencer Brown had a pancake on, I think, Deron Payne, if I'm not mistaken, that he just worked him. Took him off the line. And just body slammed the dude. That's a big old brother that you just destroyed, bro.
Strong,
yo,
dude,
I was like, Hercules.
We don't play them again for a long time.
I was like, damn. And shout out to Eric Turner for putting it out there. And I definitely saw that when I rewatched the game on film. But hey, those are the things that you want to see. It's week by week, incremental. We're gonna get better. Darrell Williams had a bounce back game, I believe.
Right.
He played very well. Going up against Chase Young. I feel like he was very smart with his hand placement, hand usage. Kind of guiding. Because Chase Young is a very fast. He's a strong defensive end. And so he kind of just steered him, and Josh Allen kind of felt that, and he was able to make plays because of that. And that was on more than one occasion throughout the game. He held his own. Montez Sweat is another problem. Deion Dawkins is, we see that he's kind of getting better in terms of his, his rep count, and as far as his, his wind, his strength, I guess, coming back from COVID, he played a solid game too. So
I think he's getting back to full form. Like you said, though, Montez Sweat, Chase Young are problems. They're going to beat you. But I think, Josh Allen and the tackles in particular, Deion Dawkins and the right tackle, Williams, were.
So let me address this. So, Don, you gave us a $2 contribution. So we're going to say thank you for that. Appreciate it.
All just to say, hey.
Sabres freaking won, Jack. Who? Well, let me and all the knowledge, hockey knowledge that I don't even have or possess. I will tell you that whoever's running the Sabres, they're idiots. Because Jack Eichel is a damn good player, and the fact that they won't let my boy get surgery, that sounds like some slave shit to me, for one. And look. My guy, what's that? Nolan, what's his power? Owen Power doesn't even want to play. The guy went back to Michigan. Look, fold it this year and get another high pick. Okay, just play the game. Get rid of all your, Darlene just signed to an extension. See, I knew that shit. Darlene just signed an extension. You got Owen Power. He's a number 1 overall pick. You're getting rid of Jack Eichel for God knows why. I don't know why you get rid of a good player like that, but the Sabres suck, and they just suck.
For a guy who's trashing the Sabres, you know a lot lot about him.
I don't.
Somebody asked me if
can we get a goalie? Because the goalie is trash. The goalie is trash. He's trash. Why are we talking about the Sabres? So anyway, thank you for that, Don. Yes, we could talk or whatever, but I'm just saying I'm not just a pretty face, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I got it like that. But anyway, we are moving on. Shit. I don't. I'd rather listen to Blues Clues, player, for real. Moving on. So we talked about, will the real Josh Allen please stand up? Josh Allen, and Anthony, you alluded to it. Josh Allen played a hell of a game. He was 32 of 43, 358 yards, 4 touchdowns on the air, 1 on the ground. Josh Allen is back. And, let's kind of segue to the next topic here. So Josh Allen going up against the Houston Texans defense, which we're going to get into the Houston Texans later in the show. I do think he's going to light them up.
Wow, Sterling, that's some real good analysis you got there.
It was one of your. It's like an Anthony Romeo take,
please, brother.
But no, it's just when you watch Houston Texans on film, you just go,
dude. Did you watch the Carolina?
Okay,
we're not even there yet. But Josh Allen had a hell of a game against Washington, and it's only going to get better from here.
Oh, look at this. My guy Gregory comes in. Yes, sir. He says still better commentary than Paul Hamilton. Boy, yes, sir. Let's get it. Let's get it. Yeah. Anyway, so we're going to talk about them in a minute, but let's segue to the defense real quick before we get into the, our MVP of the game. The defense has taken the next step. I mean, this is the third consecutive week we've seen them ball out. Matt Milano, Tremaine Edmonds, boy, that's a problem. That is a problem. And we talk about their communication in this defense where, you see them working so well together in zone coverage. Edmonds on the interception that Heinicke threw on the left-hand side to Jordan Poyer. Edmonds is a guy that kind of took away his first read, right? And Heinicke had to hold onto the ball. He threw it up. It was terrible. And your boy Jordan Poyer came in for the INT. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that you want to see from these linebackers. We didn't see the defensive line have as much pressure as we've seen in past weeks. We didn't see Leslie Frazier dial up, the blitzes that he had in the previous week. So hopefully the defensive line gets back to what they were doing. But this defense as a whole, we're looking at one of the top 3 defenses in the league. What do you guys have to say about that?
Yeah, when you watch the film, Matt Milano is just on fire right now. Everything he does just turns to diamonds, right? It's like, he's got 6 tackles for loss already, and that's leading the league with Von Miller. He's got 3 quarterback pressures already. He had 10 last season. It's almost a third. It's just, right now he's hot and he's earning that paycheck. And, I'm happy that we got to keep him, honestly.
Yeah. The most loyal listeners of the Hoof podcast will remember that we were, way back when, that I have been a Milano stan for a long, long time. And I always say, Milano play, defense good, Milano out, defense bad. It's that simple no matter who else is out there. When Milano is healthy and playing, the defense is good. And it's continued to be good. And I think that's going to be the case as long as Milano is there. Granted, he needs the other parts around him, but just him being there raises the level of play of everybody else. And I thought of must have been one of the earliest episodes that I was on with you guys. And Sterling mentioned something about trading Matt Milano. And it was one of our first big arguments on the show where I went nuts because I was a Matt Milano stan. And we're talking 3 years ago at this point. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And now it's great to see, as you said, Milano and Edmonds healthy, which we haven't seen in 2 seasons at this point. And it's paying dividends for this defense. The back half of the defense, phenomenal in this one. The pass rush, which is supposed to be one of our strengths now, I was a little disappointed. All of a sudden, Heinicke turned into Ben Roethlisberger, and you can't bring him down. And he gets the ball out too quick and stuff. And I'm like, come on, you're there. Get to him, tackle him. It was like every play they were this close, but they just couldn't get home. And I'm like, get home. I was screaming the same thing at the TV constantly, even when we were up by a lot at the end of the game. I'm like, come on, give me 1 sack at least. We had 1 sack in the game, and you know who got it? Who was credited with it, I should say, because technically it was Heinicke running out of bounds? Starr got the sack on this defensive line. That's not what he does. That's not what he's there for. He got credited with it because he was closest to the quarterback when he ran out of bounds. And I was like, does that technically count as a sack? So
I will say this, though, when Heinicke is rolling right, I had flashbacks to Trent Murphy not being able to catch him. But Groot was there. He has the speed. He's a little faster. He can get outside and set the edge. That's just something I noticed that's different this year.
Yeah, no, it was. He's
got more speed than Trent Murphy.
The defensive line is playing, light years ahead of where they were last year.
Certainly.
You see the chemistry there. And you can only be happy. Ed Oliver's having a really good season. Like, he's doing what he's supposed to do, and you're not seeing it show up on the stat sheet as much. But I think you will. I think, we'll see him start to make some more explosive plays. But, you talk about, McDermott and Fraser Priest doing your 111th. These guys are doing their 111th, and we haven't even talked about Trey White and the forced fumble that he had on Logan Thomas. That was a very heady play with the peanut punch.
A bad play to begin and followed through and finished it. That was the big thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and so those are the things, just the chemistry of the defense overall. Those are the things that's championship caliber play from the Buffalo Bills. If they want to win a championship, this is the defense. The way they played on Sunday is what we all expected the Buffalo Bills to be coming into the season. So you just hope that we know that each side of the ball is not going to play the best all the time. But last year we saw the offense really carry this team a ton, and the defense was it was hit or miss every now and then. But now you're seeing the defense being very consistently good, and the offense, Josh Allen doesn't have to do it every single week, right? I mean, we hope that he gets back to, shades of last year. And I think he did. I think he will. We'll see more of that soon. But if we can keep this kind of play up, I mean, there's no reason why. I mean, when we see power rankings and the Bills are ranked number 2 or number 1, I mean, those are lofty praises, but those are warranted. So it's something to keep an eye on as we move forward in the season. But I'm loving everything that I'm seeing. So real quick, before we close out this part of the show, MVP not named Josh Allen. So Anthony, will go with you. Who is your MVP of the game? And then Eric will end it with you there.
Ooh, not named Josh Allen. I've got 2 in mind. Which one do I go with? I'm going to go with Emmanuel Sanders because it was his kind of breakout game in chemistry with Josh Allen and those 2 touchdowns, obviously. So stat sheet, and the fact that what I liked more is the fact that he was catching the balls. He was open. This is the Emmanuel Sanders that Bills fans want, and the one that we signed up for, and the one that the team hoped to get with him, and that chemistry with Josh Allen. So hopefully they build on this. I'll go with him.
I'll go with Trey White, just because the play that he made, and I think it put this game away early. The Bills were in full control of this game all day long, and I think a lot of it was because they got that turnover from Trey White. And so great play from him. And
shutting down McLaurin too, right?
Right. Well, it's McLaurin's a good play. He had a couple nice plays, but I just don't think Heineke is he's not going to make a lot of plays with his arm.
Okay.
So I'll go Trey White.
You're gonna go Trey White. I'm gonna go Darrell Williams. Just because he's one of the guys that's probably not gonna get. Offensive linemen don't really get clout or play like that. But I think he played a really good game against a really good defensive end in Chase Young. Compared to what he looked like, earlier in the season, the first 2 games, I thought Darrell Williams played a really, really, really good game, man. It's one of those things that you love to see. If you can get the offensive line doing what it's supposed to do, man, we see it in the run game. Like, these guys are gelling in the run game. It's not perfect. It's not, I wouldn't even say it's great. It's getting good. I want to see that. Offensively, I want to see the Bills. I want to see the Bills do more in the screen game. Can we get that? I would love to see the Bills use a screen game more. We aren't seeing that. Maybe, if Marquez Stevenson, I think he's going to be healthy, you're going to have to put him on the roster. Maybe we could see some manufactured screens, get him and McKenzie on at the same time. Call it some sort of,
I don't think Josh Allen likes screenplays.
I don't care what Josh Allen likes.
He likes it. You should care.
Yeah, I was going to say,
putting up 30+ points a game. Pretty good right now.
But you have to be multiple.
It is a tool.
You have to be able. You have to be able to be multiple.
Look at the touchdown by Gibson in this, right? That was exactly what Sterling and I had talked about, that the Bills should try and do. If the pass rush was getting to him, he would need to get the ball out. And I agree with Sterling.
There's definitely some good screenplays in the playbook. They just don't call them a lot, and I think a lot of that is because Josh doesn't want to. He doesn't like to check the ball down. That's clear.
He doesn't.
I don't care. It's a good, smart play. Like, it is,
especially with a over penetrating defense. You kind of let them come at you
given
the screen.
We don't have any good run after. We don't have really good run after catch guys. Right. So we have some
tried it with Matt
guys.
Breida.
Oh,
we tried one. It was disaster. So
yeah, you just want to see the
more
Bills.
Weeks of practice, man.
Hey, you just want to see the Bills get better there, man.
Yeah. You said with Darrell Williams is going to add to that he wasn't like shutting down Chase Young, but he's almost falling with style.
Yeah.
Him and Josh are on the same page where it's like, okay, we'll let him go over here and beat me on the outside. Then Josh will just run up, and get rid of the football. I thought, they definitely communicate. You can tell it's just really smooth between Josh Allen and the tackles.
Right. Look, they need to improve in the screen game. I know the offensive line, they struggle there. I just need to work on that a little bit. Maybe give me a couple screens a game, just to work on it, because it's going to pay dividends in the playoffs. You're going to have to bring the kitchen sink in the playoffs. I want it to be where the defense is going to hold their own, right? But the offense, we saw in the playoffs last year, teams kind of, constricted on the defense. On the offense, to where they kind of struggled. They weren't as hot, and that you're not going to name a team that goes into the playoffs and just puts up 30 points. It's hard to find, but I do definitely want these Bills to be able to score in multiple ways, and they're showing that for as it's on the ground, through the air. I love what I'm seeing. Just keep it up.
So I think
go ahead.
There was one play I wanted to bring up to you guys that I don't think I even mentioned in our chat during the game, but there was one play in specific that I had never seen anything like this before, where the offensive linemen all shifted in one direction at the snap. So they snapped and they all literally got up and go, let the pass rush come, because they knew that Josh Allen was doing the quick pass outside. So they just kind of got up, stood almost like, a machine. They just all moved in one direction to the left or to the right, and then Josh Allen just quick pass. So they let the pass rush basically go, and Josh Allen made a huge play out of it. And it's like, wow, that was, bloop, bloop, bloop. Yeah, that was our version of a screenplay, basically. But the whole offensive line, I mean, again, the communication there, it was just an incredible play. I'm like, I don't think I've
one
ever
more
seen
play to talk
anything
about,
like that.
too. How about Dustin Hopkins?
Yeah, that kick.
On that kick
my
return.
gosh.
We haven't mentioned that yet.
That was unbelievable.
That was the greatest special teams play I've seen in a long time.
Getting that ball.
Yeah,
it confused
the Music City
everybody.
Miracle was the greatest special teams play I've ever seen.
That was a long time ago. We don't talk about that these days.
Yeah, the way
This
that
is a
ball
good play,
bounced,
though. Give him credit.
it was definitely a great placement of the kick. I mean, he obviously knew what he was doing kicking in Buffalo, and
McKenzie just froze.
Yeah, it's like, what do I do?
What was he thinking, bro?
Yeah, he definitely forgot that it's a live ball.
Because what happens, you'll run into the back of somebody, right? And then it becomes chaotic.
Well, still, it's a live ball.
Right
It's already chaotic.
Stop, see what's happening.
Jump on the ball at least,
It wasn't just him, though. The
It
big
did
guys
take
don't
a
want to
while.
catch the football. That's not in
Bro,
the contract.
we can't have that.
Exactly.
We can't have that. That's unacceptable, dog.
No.
Look what happened in this game. We were up 21-0, and it was 21-14, and all of a sudden I'm cursing at the TV when it was 21-0, and I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Because
that boy kicker recovers. We can't have that. Yeah.
No, that was bad. It was a bad look, and I'm like, what the heck just happened?
Someone blocked this
Isaiah McKenzie must have listened to the fray, because he was like, how to save a life. That boy was not trying to trying to get dirty, dog.
He forgot what he was doing back there. We know he's his first year being the full-time return guy.
Maybe
we do need
you never know what can happen.
Hey, that joke was rough, but hey, real quick though, some notable stats here. The Washington football team had 290 yards total on offense. You had Antonio Gibson, who's a very good running back, 12 carries, 31 yards. Antonio Gibson was also the leading receiver of the game with one reception for 73 yards and a touchdown. They held Terry McLaurin to 4 catches, 62 yards. Tyler Heineke was 14 of 24, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks. I mean, they played a hell of a game, man. Shout out to the defense.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think time of possession is important to point out here. The Bills had 10 more minutes of time of possession than the Washington football team.
Yeah.
And that's how you get 35 points, right? Yeah, I think teams moving forward are going to try to run the football on the Bills and try to control the game and try to beat them out in the time of possession.
Right.
You got to keep Josh Allen off the field when he's hot like that. So I'd expect that moving forward. And
that's
literally,
why
the Washington team couldn't do it. They could not stay on the field.
That's why Zach Moss was my other potential MVP of the game, because it was the plays he was in. He made plays, big plays, third downs, short passes to get us first downs. Every play that Zach Moss made seemed to be, not only was he giving it 100% effort, but it was in big moments making.
So you see what I just did there? He's still talking, right? And because we already did. Anthony Romeo is muted because we already did the player of the game. Now I'm going to unmute Anthony Romeo because we already did that. We already did that.
We're finishing up on this. I wanted to mention that Zach Moss was the other guy I was considering for that. Because
no, I'm just giving you crap. Speaking of finishing up, fellas, let's talk about this for a second. The Hoof jersey giveaway. This is the part of the show where, we're kind of doing 2-in-1 here. We want to, this is the campaign where we are giving away a free freaking jersey. All you got to do is submit a question, by God, to thehooflive@gmail.com. We've already got a few submissions, okay? And we're going to be giving away a jersey here in a couple weeks. This is a jersey giveaway. Submit your questions. It could be anything. Ask anything. Anything, people. I mean, anything, okay? What's the weather, Sterling? I don't fucking know. Like, I'll tell you. But like, look,
What's your social security number?
Yeah, I'll give you that. I mean, but it's just to get more interaction, because sometimes, you guys have really good things to say in the chat. We don't always get to them. You should super chat those things. But, we want to get to know you. You want to get to know us as content creators. So this is an avenue where you can get free bill swag. Like, we're gonna swag you up. Like, how Oprah's giving away houses and cars on her show? Well, on our show, we're giving away jerseys, like just giving them away. So by all means, look, again, if you need help with that, the Hoof Live, Hoof, like sound it out. Like, I don't know what, hooked on phonics, sound it out. The hooflive@gmail.com. Submit your questions, jersey giveaway. We're going to be giving out our first jersey here in a couple weeks. So with that being said, fellas, we're going to peace out right here for this part of the show. And let's go ahead. We're going to say go Bills and bye. And then let's go ahead and segue into our preview for the next opponent. We're going to get into the next part of the show, fellas, and we're going to talk about the preview with the Houston freaking Texans. Okay. Now, Eric, you and I, we watched the film and we laughed a lot. I mean, it's comical. Some of the stuff that we saw on the film against the Carolina Panthers to, the Cleveland Browns. I mean, like usually, I watch the film and I have all these notes and points of what emphasis where the Bills can win here. The Bills need to do this or we need to watch out for this. And I look at this Texas team and I'm like, damn, like,
yeah,
what are they gonna do? Like, bro, let's talk about this Houston Texans depth chart here. Okay, I mean, let's see if any of these names scare you. Davis Mills, does that scare you? Danny Amendola, Pharaoh Brown. Okay, Mark Ingram, Brandon Cooks on the defensive side of the ball. Whitley Merciless, okay, he's dope. DeMarcus Walker, Jordan Jenkins, Zach Cunningham. I mean, he lit up Josh Allen. Christian Kirksey. I mean, Camus Gregor Hill, Tay Davis. I mean, Neville Hewitt. We all know who that is. Tremon Smith, Terrence Mitchell. Like, who are you trotting out here? Gonna up to Buffalo, and y'all ain't gonna get a win. There ain't no W's here. Look, I know we say this is NFL, you can't overlook it. Look, we already got that in here. As I was saying it, look at this. Look, seriously, we cannot overlook any. Listen, buddy. Listen. Unless you got Jesus on wings at quarterback, it ain't happening this week, buddy.
Or Fitzmagic.
Look. I know that I tend to be the one who overdoes it or whatever, gets comments like that, but I am not kidding when I say our third string, our last string, our practice squad will destroy this Texans team. Friggin' give me whoever you want. Seriously, it's
John Burgundy.
I watched that Thursday night game and I said, this is not an NFL football team. They couldn't even tackle. First of all, the team they were facing lost 3 of their best players, is out there just trying to get something done. These score predictions are not out of the question. I'm telling you, it's nuts. Josh Allen might play a quarter because we're going to be up 48-0 before anything happens.
We lost to the Steelers, yes. But you know what, man? It's like this,
the
man.
Steelers in week 1.
Hold on. Can I say this real quick? Look, we don't play for the Bills. So I could come on here and I could talk my shit. And I have analytical statistical data to for any point that I make, I can go there. But right now, I don't need to go there because the Houston Texans, they're just trash. Like, can we just stop with the whole, it's any given Sunday, brother. Any team could beat anybody. I mean, I don't care. Like, it's not happening. Like, okay, the Vegas odds is like 16.5. Okay.
That is a joke.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I'm putting money on it. My 5 for 5 is later, but I'm telling you now, that's one of them. Because
if the Bills played them 9 out of 10 times, the Texans, or 10 out of 10 times, the Texans ain't winning once.
No.
Okay, that's how bad they are. Like, and you watch the film. Like, I can sit here and say, you know what, Mark Ingram, he's a tough runner. Laramie Tunsil has been playing very well this season.
Yeah.
You know, they definitely do some things. They have speed on the defensive side of the ball. You know, Zach Cunningham's he's a good linebacker. Eric Reed is a decent safety. Like, I mean, I can go down the line and tell you, like, okay, this is what I should see here. But offensively, they don't have a plan. They got a young quarterback. Davis Mills is struggling right now. Like, if the Bills can't come in here and beat these boys, if they can't come in here and beat these boys by 20, we got problems. Like, you should come in here, and that's modest. That's modest. That's
an
saying
embarrassment.
If Houston plays their best,
if
Houston plays their best, they can keep it to 20. But the Bills, I just think the Bills are just that good. And it's everybody out there. You need to start thinking that this Bills team ain't nothing to mess with. This is a damn good football team. Like, they are really good. Like, people are starting to recognize that you can't just – in Buffalo, are you kidding me? Bills Mafia? 70,000 man, I ain't even a fanboy, and I'm telling y'all right now, they're going to kick their ass this Sunday. And y'all know Josh Allen petty. He petty as hell because he knows, hey, the last time we played the Houston Texans, they kicked our ass in overtime. Okay? Yeah. You know what? I'll be so happy. I would be so happy if what's his name, running back on the team that played for the Texans they got the big run. God, I can't even remember his name right now. I hate when I do this. On our team. For special teams, fourth, he's a gunner.
Tywan Jones?
Tywan Jones. Let Tywan Jones get a damn touchdown.
I think he could have 100 yards in this game if he plays. Like,
Matt Breida first,
ball.
Please. Look, I think the Texans, their only chance to win is to establish the run. And they have that capability. They just haven't been able to do it to this point.
Right.
I mean,
they
Marcus
have 3
Cannon,
guys
right
with
tackle.
AARP cards, for God's sake.
David Johnson, I think, is a good running back. He's
a tough
fallen
runner.
off.
You're not giving him the ball.
He's been there. Ingram's a great running back. He's over the hill a little bit. But Philip Lindsay's dangerous in the screen game.
Absolutely.
They're not giving him the ball.
Exactly.
You watched it, Dave? You just brought up 2 names.
I did mention that we were watching it.
In 2 weeks.
Right. They're trying to run Philip Lindsay up the middle. Look, he's averaging 2.3 yards a carry. It's not going to happen. You got to get him involved in the screen game, take the pressure off Davis Mills. Look, Davis Mills, he played pretty decent against Carolina, but he's like Heineke in a way. He didn't turn the ball over. It was an interception anyway, but he didn't make too many huge mistakes.
No.
Right? If they can do that and then run the football, they still probably don't have a chance, but that's the only way to win.
I mean, this team is ranked 31st in touchdowns allowed on the ground. You know, right now they got 6 rushing touchdowns. This is a great game to get confidence going into Kansas City for the run game. Like, let's let these guys up front dictate how Sunday's going to go.
Yes.
Like, I don't even need Josh Allen to throw the ball all over the yard. Like, I don't. I want to see how. I want to see
2.5 quarters. Not even probably.
Look, I want to see how the offensive line. I want to see more chemistry, more gelling together. Let's work on the screen game. Because our screen game sucks right now. But let's get some things in there. Let's build on the momentum that we had last week. Man, look, you mean to tell me, bro, you mean to tell me that Vernon Hargraves and Terrence freaking Mitchell.
Cornerback.
Look, Terrence Mitchell.
It's just funny.
Terrence Mitchell. No, let's talk about Terrence Mitchell. Terrence Mitchell.
That's why we're talking about Terrence Mitchell.
Who is he going to guard? Who?
Nobody. That's the thing. There's nobody there.
Dawson Knox.
Okay, great.
Josh Allen. We're going to learn Josh Allen. Josh Allen can do whatever he wants in this game. He's going to say, you know what? I need to get my chemistry down with Emmanuel Sanders. I'm going to throw it to him. Or he's going to say, you know what? Stephon Diggs has not had a big game this season. I'm going to get him 300 mother effing yards.
Bruh.
And he could do it. Stephon Diggs could have 300 yards receiving in this game, and that is not speaking insanity.
Stop it, Anthony. That's
that
crazy.
Is for real.
No, because he'll be on the bench before that happens.
Exactly. He will. But I'm saying Josh Allen is going to do whatever he wants. If he wants to get Stephon Diggs, say, hey, I got to boost his confidence and get that chemistry and make sure he's good there, then he's going to throw it to him all day. If he says, you know what, I need to get Emmanuel Sanders working and keep that going. If he says, you know what, I got to throw it all over the yard, work on my deep ball, work on the screen game. This is a get-right game for the Buffalo Bills. Do whatever the hell you want. You're going to be out there. There's nobody on the other side. It's practice.
Yeah, we know the Bills match up really well against them. But how about this? Can you name 3 matchup advantages that the Texans have to the Bills?
3.
How about 1?
What? Can I name what?
Do one.
That tells you how interested I am in hearing about the damn
Laramie
Texans.
Tunsil? But here's the thing about the offensive line. The problem is an offensive line is only as good as its weakest players. And one amazing guy who can make a Pro Bowl is not going to make your offensive line. I mean, there's nothing there.
Right, but football is about matchups. So the left tackle will go against Jerry Hughes, moves around.
He's the best player on the team.
Whoever's there, right? It's that play, that rep.
I mean, listen. I mean, you look. I mean, at right tackle, okay, this team, Marcus Cannon. Like, listen, Gregory Rousseau can have another 2 sacks this game. I mean, I'm not going to be like Homery, but that's a very fair assessment. I mean, you got Davis Mills. He wants to lock on.
Right.
He wants. You see him. He wants to lock onto a receiver. They want to test. They want to throw the ball deep to Brandon Cooks. He kind of just throws it up there sometimes. I mean, look. I mean, Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer are playing at Pro Bowl levels right now. I mean, they are playing really well. Like, if you take out if you eliminate Brandon Cooks out of this offense on Sunday with Trey White. Now, if you try him over there to Levi Wallace, you might have a problem. Levi doesn't do so well when it comes to speed receivers. But if you eliminate that, so if you want to do a blanket cover 2 over the top or a cover 1, I mean, and blitz Davis Mills, on him. Yep, it's over. It's over. You have no answer. You just don't. I mean, they have a decent tight end. They got a decent tight end, and what's his name? Jordan Akins.
Is he not there?
I like Jordan Akins. Jordan Akins is a solid tight end, but really, I mean, he's okay. But like, man,
if you got Brandon Cooks versus Levi Wallace, is that a matchup advantage for the Texans?
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's
I like the maybe train, but yes, I would say
Sterling just said, you let Hyde and Poyer go on that side along with him wherever he goes, whichever side, and who else do they got? And then you can let Trey White rush the passer too. And
I mean, if you don't throw the kitchen sink at this young quarterback,
he's done. And you don't even have to, right? They could probably drop everybody, do 3 if they wanted, and they'd still get a sack. I mean, this team plays a 3-4 defense. Look, they got some athleticism, on this team. So I mean, but they're just gonna have to play. They're just gonna have to play better. They're just gonna have to, the Texans don't have what it takes right now, and I know they're rebuilding or whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what the Texans are doing right now. Does anybody know if the Texans are rebuilding?
Franchise
what are they doing?
Sitting on the bench. You got problems.
I mean, for whatever you want to say about Deshaun Watson,
well, I mean,
trade the man.
How are you going to go out there and try to win football games with your franchise guy on the bench? And Deshaun Watson was really good statistically last season.
Tyrod Taylor.
They were in a lot of games because of him, right?
Tyrod Taylor with a broken whatever the hell he's got is better than Davis Mills right now. Like, put Tyrod in the game.
Played
man.
Well. He played well.
Tyrod made this team look like okay.
Especially the mobility helps a lot too.
Right? All right, so let's formalize this because we're going to stick to the script here. Okay, how can the Bills win on offense?
Anthony.
I can't even get
this is what the analysis that I'm trying to
this is new.
Conjure
seriously.
up.
But in all seriousness, we're laughing because we've never been in this position before since we've been podcasting, probably since we've been born. All right. The Bills have never had a game like this in our lifetime where we are literally at home. We're the Super Bowl contending team, and we're playing probably the worst roster in the NFL and contending for the worst
roster
in
the AFC
NFL
East,
history.
Anthony, don't forget.
Yeah, no, the Jets are rebuilding and know what they're doing. They know who they are. They're not trying. The Texans have no idea what's going on.
Here's the answer.
Problems with Deshaun Watson. They've got no leadership.
They freaking want. That's the answer. Trade
literally
any way they want.
Be the Mitch Trubisky and Tywan Jones. We talked about him. Let's get throw Spencer Brown out there. Let him play. Jake Kumro will have 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. It's going to be the defense. I mean, who's the last defensive guy you could think of on the roster? I'm telling you. Tyler Medikevich is going to have a touchdown in this game. I'm not even kidding. The defense is going to probably put up points in this game. Probably. They should.
Look.
Yeah, so the easiest answer, though, is weakest link, the Texans cornerbacks.
Yes.
Are the weak links, in my opinion.
The wide receivers are going to eat, for sure.
Attack them. I mean, their linebackers are decent, right? I don't know if they've played up to snuff, but I mean, there's some names in their linebacking core.
The game I watched versus Carolina was embarrassing at the second level. right? Not the defensive line. The linebackers could not tackle, and it was the backup running back and the backup
Sam Darnold played
the fourth string wide receiver. And I'm like, what the heck? What are they doing? I could tackle that guy, and they're just like running into each other and barely touching the guy's feet. I'm like, what, man? They're doing that against their backup. The Carolina. Look, I'm high on Carolina this year too, but when you're talking about their backup running back who was not supposed to play really at all in this game, busting a play up the middle off of two guys who were on top of him because they couldn't tackle him. I mean, it was embarrassing in that game, and that was something that I saw and said, I'm sorry, but you do not even deserve to be on the same football field as the Buffalo Bills.
All right, so next question. How can the Bills win defense?
That's the way. They don't play at all on offense. They only put the defensive guys out there, intercept the ball, score touchdowns.
I got it. I got it.
Okay.
Keep Deshaun Watson on the bench.
Your point is solid though. What happens if Davis Mills literally gets hurt in this game? He's going to get hit. You just said they're bringing the house on him. Who's going to play quarterback?
Hey, how do you keep Deshaun Watson on the bench? Offer him a massage.
Yeah.
Oh.
Too soon. Too soon. Mercy. I love Deshaun, man. I just had to throw that out there. That shit's funny though.
I hate what they're doing to him.
Hey, listen. I want Deshaun to be restored and play. And I feel bad for the people that he really did hurt.
I get it. You're trying to teach him a lesson. I got it. Okay.
Trade the man. Can you just trade him?
Now you're just hurting the game by not letting him play, right?
Trade him, bro.
Top quarterbacks in the league. Let the man play. Okay.
The NFL is better when
I'm not going to let him play Houston.
No, it won't be Houston.
Texas,
trade him.
Oh, no.
No, the Texans are actually doing the right thing. They don't want to put him out there. They don't want him to get hurt. They don't want to win games. There's no reason to put him out there. They need to trade him, but not until he gets this stuff straightened out so they can get 3 first-round picks for him.
Well, now they want 6 players for him. It's just
They should. They should ask that. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league when he's available. So
it's rough, dude.
Got to get the legal stuff straightened out, and then they could ask whatever price they want for him. 5 first-round picks.
Trade him to Miami.
Like the Miami Dolphins will pay it.
Look, I hope the Miami Dolphins, you know what? I hope they get real bold and just say, you know what? Our 10 first-round picks for the next 10 years, we just give them away. Get Deshaun Watson. So that way, I'll take it. Get Deshaun Watson in this division so Allen can whoop his ass too. That's what I want to see. That's what I want. I love Deshaun Watson. I love Deshaun Watson as a football player. I'm not talking about his off-the-field stuff. I'm talking about as a football player. Mm-hmm. I would love more competition in AFC.
I think Philadelphia is a good fit.
That would be a great place for him too.
Yeah.
That'd be great. All right, so let's get back on track here. So as we wrap this up, right? Okay, so let's do our pick for this game. All right, our score prediction. Okay, Eric, we'll start with you. What is your score prediction for this game?
I'll go 35-14 Bills.
Okay, I like that. Yeah.
Who's scoring on 14?
And don't ask questions. Don't
How
ask
many times have the Bills shut out a team?
Daily Sight.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna score. They're gonna score. They're gonna score a gimme.
My Daily Sight prediction is what I'm going with here. 51,
I'll even start
51-0. 51.
Anthony, stop.
51,
Anthony.
And that might be underdoing it. 51-0. We're going to score 2 defensive touchdowns, a special teams touchdowns, 3 touchdowns from Josh Allen, and they could probably pour on more, but they finally have pity and take a knee.
51.
51
oh God,
to nothing,
man, bro.
If they're going to get 51,
bro. Excuse me. 51-0. 51-0. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go 38-10. 38-10. I think the Bills won 38-10.
That's fair.
Andre Roberts is on this team. I just thought of that, right? That's another player who maybe is better than the Bills.
How about this one? We talked about this last night. Deshaun Watson will play more snaps this year than the Texans play quarterbacks.
What now?
Deshaun Watson will play more snaps this year than the Texans will play quarterbacks. They're already at 2. And Deshaun Watson's at 0.
That's dope. That's dope.
What do you think?
No, I don't think Watson plays this year. I'm going to say no. I don't think he plays, and they're already at 2 quarterbacks, and they might be at 3 by the end of this game.
They'll play more quarterbacks than Watson plays snaps.
Yes.
Man, bro.
When's the trade deadline? At week 8?
I don't know, man. Yeah, week 8.
Stayed the same, right? Didn't change.
Yeah, they didn't change it. Look, dude. I don't know what's gonna happen with Deshaun Watson. All I know is the Houston Texans are gonna get their ass whooped this weekend. That's all I do know. I don't care who they trot out there. If they want to get Andre Johnson, Andre the Giant, it don't even fucking matter. They're gonna get their ass beat. Okay. We're gonna smoke them boys. It's Puka.
They played Cleveland tough though.
Hey, as we smoking on Puka the third, the Bills are gonna destroy the Houston Texans, man. The Bills are gonna destroy them. So let's the Houston Texans, let's put them in a box and throw them away. Okay.
Everyone's score predictions: 41-10, 38-10,
44-17.
I mean,
51-0.
17.
Yeah.
If they score 17 points, I'm gonna be absolutely shocked. Dumbfounded. I don't know how they score 17 points.
And Anthony gets mad watching. Throw the challenge flag.
Yeah.
He's gonna be going crazy back there.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Hey, it's gonna be funny. Okay, so now this is the part of the show where Anthony Romeo is gonna do his 5 for 5. So I don't know if you guys know this, but Anthony's pretty good at making your bag grow. Okay, if you want to talk to Gucci Mane, that guala, that guap that we talk in the South, Anthony is going to help you grow the guala. So, Anthony, take it away for your 5 for 5, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go again. It's already week 4. We had a rough start in week 1. Week 1 is always crazy. We talked about it, 1-4. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Week 2, we were 4-1. Week 3, we were 4-1 once again, baby, with our 2 biggest bets of the week hitting once again. And in total, the 2 games lost in those past 2 weeks, 1 total point was the difference. 0.5 from the Raiders last week, 0.5 in week 2. That was the difference in going 5-0 both weeks. So close, would have hit a major parlay if that was the case. But we are on fire right now, 4-1, and we're going to carry that energy right into week 4. Here we go, baby. And remember, this is how I start them. The lowest one I give you is my number 5, is the one I'm putting the least emphasis on, the least amount of money. And then as we work up to my big bet of the week, that's the one I'm most confident in. So here we go, baby. Starting with my number 5 pick, the team that we bashed and talked about, the Washington football team, is -1 point against the Atlanta Falcons. And I'm sorry, I'm taking the Washington football team -1. They're a good team just because the Bills embarrassed them. This Atlanta team that just got lucky against the Giants with the last second field goal is not going to be able to hang with the Washington football team. So they're my number 5 pick of the week. My second pick of the week is the San Francisco 49ers -2.5 at Seattle. Seattle is off to a rough start this season. The 49ers just had a competitive but tough loss to Green Bay. I expect the 49ers to bounce back and be able to beat this Seattle team, and 2.5 points is just too little for me, so I'm taking San Francisco -2.5. My third bet of the week, the team that also has had a rough start to the season, the Kansas City Chiefs -6.5 at Philadelphia. The Eagles cannot get it done on offense. I don't know what they're trying to do. The Dallas Cowboys just embarrassed them. And if you ask me, the Kansas City Chiefs offense is better. This isn't the Chargers they're playing. -6.5 is just too silly of a line in this game. I'm taking Kansas City -6.5 at Philly. So those are my first 3, my 5, my 4, my 3. And I'm going to go ahead and do something I have never done before on my 5 for 5. I am giving you 2 top bets of the week. These are both my number 1 bets of the week. I could not make a decision here because, ladies and gentlemen, one of those picks is the Buffalo Bills -16 versus the Houston Texans. This may seem, I've talked to you on this show, on my segment here before, about big lines and how they don't usually work out well. The Buffalo Bills -16, the Buffalo Bills -20, the Buffalo Bills -24. I don't care what the line was for this game. I was putting money on the Buffalo Bills because they will dominate and win this game. And the lines, it didn't matter how high they went. It would have been me picking the Bills for this game. And I think 16 is an easy number for them to cover. So I'm putting a big bet this week on the Buffalo Bills. And now are you ready for the shocker, ladies and gentlemen? What on planet Earth could make me just as confident as the Bills beating the Houston Texans? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers beating the New England Patriots by more than 6.5 points. This is Tom Brady going to play New England. This is a New England team that is not the same anymore. They added all these players in the offseason. They were supposed to be phenomenal. But you know what? Bill Belichick has never played a quarterback the likes of Tom Brady. And I cannot wait, ladies and gentlemen. The world has spun upside down, and Anthony Romeo and the Buffalo Bills are rooting for Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady. And that is absolutely going to be this case this weekend. I think Tom Brady absolutely pours it on his old team. So the Tampa Bay Bucks being -6.5 versus New England, to me, was the biggest bet of the week. Those two, the Bills and the New England, my big bets of the week. So let's go over it quickly again. Washington football team -1.5 at Atlanta. San Francisco -2.5 at Seattle. The Kansas City Chiefs -6.5 at Philadelphia. The Bills -16 versus Houston. And the Bucks -6.5 at New England. Let's win some big money this week. And I mean big. I'm putting it all on the line for this one. These games are too good to resist. And those lines are absolutely tempting. Let's keep that money rolling.
So
in.
Anthony's gotta win all these bets because he's trying to buy his wife a VBL. So
Well, so far so good.
He's raking in the dough.
He's watching.
Anthony raking in the dough, man. He's raking in the dough. But for real though, as we get to our picks, and let's keep it short, guys. We're killing it on Tally site. So if you guys actually want, our analysis when it comes to each and every game, we're talking about the spread, the money line, the over under. You want to make sure you go to Tally site. All of our Cover One guys are there. And you can find our takes there in terms of the week's game. So far, so good. All three of us are killing it in our own right. And Tally site, they're loving them some Jeffrey P. Danger right now. So they could just keep putting my stuff up there and see if I can keep getting lucky. But it really does help when you watch these games, and it's one of those things. It's so hit or miss. The NFL is such a competitive game. There's so much parity in this league, so you just never know. But so far, we're killing it. So the Hoof, we're going to keep it moving. So let's get it. Let's do these picks. We're going to keep it brief. We're going to keep it short. We got the Thursday night game, Jaguars at Bengals. Who you got? I'm going to take the Bengals in this one. Eric, who you got?
Yeah, I'll go Cincinnati as well. I think they're going to ride a high off last week, and Trevor Lawrence is still a rookie. He'll get it figured out eventually, but early in the season.
Anthony?
Definitely going with the Bengals here.
Got it. Okay, so next game, we got the Titans and the Jets. I'll take the Titans here.
Yeah, I got to go Titans as well. Same scenario, rookie quarterback. Can't have it.
If I could have picked 6, I would have picked the Titans here as one of my 5 for 5. So yeah.
Yeah. All right, Lions and Bears. Oh my, no pun intended. I'm gonna take the freaking Lions here, just because. Who the hell knows? Justin Fields was a putrid 6 of 20. He didn't look like he couldn't find his own face. So Eric, who you got in this game?
I always like to go with the bounce back team, but both these teams need a bounce back week. So I'm gonna go Chicago. They're better on defense. They win that way.
Okay.
I'm going to pick Chicago, but I think it's close. Maybe a 1-point game.
Yeah, I'm definitely not betting on that game. Colts at Dolphins. I'm going to take the Colts here. Carson Wentz kind of sucks right now. I don't know what it is. What do you got, Eric?
I got to go Dolphins here. I mean, they played pretty well last week. I think it carries over this week. Colts they lost their identity.
Yeah. Anthony?
Colts still reeling. I'm actually picking the Dolphins to win this week.
Okay. Browns and Vikings. I'm going to take the Browns here. But Kirk Cousins is showing some stuff. Eric, who do you got?
I'm going to go with the Vikings just because I don't think the Browns have really wowed me yet this year. They've won some close games, but I think the Vikings are playing better right now.
Okay. Anthony?
Yeah, I picked the Vikings last week, and they did it. They won. I'm picking them this week, too. The Browns have not impressed me as much as they should have. They've won the games that they should have, but, again, I haven't been overly impressed. Now they face a team in Minnesota who has a potent offense. I'll take Minnesota.
The Falcons beat the Giants last week, and this week they have the Washington football team coming to town, and it's not going to be enough. I'm taking Washington football team.
Yeah, I'll go Atlanta.
Oh,
I just think they're better on offense, and I think they can move the ball.
I'm taking the Washington football team as I did in my 5 for 5.
Texans, Bills. We're going to skip that. We all picked the Bills. We're just going to keep it moving.
Wait a minute. No, I'm kidding.
Wait a minute. Did you know? We're going to go Giants and Saints. The Giants, they just suck. I'm going with the Saints by 10 at least.
Yeah, the Giants burned me last week. Eventually they're going to put together a full game, but not this week. Saints.
I had to think about this one because this is the type of game that the Giants usually win now that we're counting them out, but I'm going with the Saints here.
Okay. And then we got the Chiefs and Eagles. I'm going to go with the Chiefs. They're going to not win. They're not going to lose 3 games straight.
Yeah, I got to go Chiefs as well. I mean, the pressure's on Pat Mahomes now. Now that Andy Reid's hydrated, I think they're back in action.
All right.
Yeah, it's not losing the 3 for me. It's just the opponent. I think they could lose 3 straight facing the right team, but not against Philly. No way.
Okay, so now we got the Panthers and the Cowboys. This will be a really good game. Both these defenses are pretty good. I'm going to say the Cowboys win this one. I think, I don't know if Sam Darnold is going to have enough in the bag to outduel Dak Prescott here.
This is a tough one, and I'm going to say Carolina outcoaches Dallas. I think Dallas is more balanced, but I think Carolina outcoaches them and gets the win.
I'm high. I like both of these teams. I picked both of these teams to make the playoffs, actually, or not Carolina to make the playoffs, but to do well this year. And Dallas, to me, is definitely going to win this game. I think Carolina, without Christian McCaffrey, the way Dallas has been playing, I definitely am confident that Dallas wins.
All right, so now on to our 4:00 games. The later games, we got the Seahawks and the 49ers. I'm going to take the 49ers in this game.
Yeah, I'll go Seattle. I just think Russell Wilson over Jimmy G.
Okay.
Give me the 49ers, part of my 5-5.
All right, and then we have the Cardinals and the Rams and potentially the game of the week. I'm going to go with the Rams here.
I think the Cardinals pull out an upset. They're hot right now. They do so many things. They're all over the place. I think the Rams are riding high, and they're going to get caught in this one.
Okay. Anthony?
No, the Rams are the better team. They're definitely winning this game. I'll take the Rams.
Better team doesn't always win.
Yeah, and it's a divisional matchup, so it'll be close. It'll be close.
I'll take the Rams.
Steelers. It's time for the Cardinals to do something.
Steelers, Packers. Ben Roethlisberger keeps falling over his own feet. I'm going to go with the Packers here. It's in Green Bay.
Yeah, we had the drama with Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers. Look, they're back to normal. This team wins 13 games every year. They're good. They beat
13 games and loses in the playoffs. But
exactly.
Yeah, I'm taking Green Bay.
All right, Ravens at Broncos. This will be a low-key good game. I'm going to say I think the Broncos can actually get a W here. I'm going to go with the Broncos.
I'm going to take the Ravens. I just think everything's clicking for them right now. They're riding high. I think it carries over. And I think the Broncos, they've been playing really well, but they haven't been in a tough position. If they get in a tough position, the Ravens win.
Okay. Go ahead, Anthony.
I'm a believer in this Broncos team. I know they haven't played anybody yet to start the year, and this is their toughest matchup yet by far in Baltimore. But when they beat Baltimore, what are people going to say after that? I'm picking the Broncos.
Okay. Buccaneers, Patriots. Daddy's coming home. So I'm going to take the Bucs here by at least 10 points.
This is tough because, I get Tampa Bay needs the bounce back week. That whole thing is Brady's return home. But their headset's not going to work. That they've been spied on all week. I'm going New England Patriots at home. Bill knows all Brady's weaknesses. I think the Patriots upset him.
That's not how this works. Brady knows Bill Belichick's weaknesses, all right? Hey. Bill Belichick was good because he had Brady there too, and we have already won that battle last year. Brady won the Super Bowl. Bill Belichick didn't make the playoffs.
Belichick doesn't play on the field, though.
Bill Belichick, it's the point. Yeah, Bill Belichick isn't on the field. Tom Brady is, and Tom Brady's going to whoop that team's butt. Tom Brady and the Bucs all day.
Okay, and this is a good game. Last game, it's a Monday nighter. Raiders, Chargers. I think the Chargers are going to win this game.
I like the Raiders. I still think they're the most balanced team in that division, and it's showing. It's finally the continuity's paying off for them, and I think they continue to win.
Well, I'd say that nobody could claim that the Hoof is doing so well because we're all on the same page and submitting the same picks, because that is clearly not the case here. A couple of these, we're definitely on different sides. I have the Chargers winning this one in a close game, maybe like a last-second field goal to win it. Good competitive game, high scoring.
All right. Well, that just about does it for the preview show for the Houston Texans. Just keep it locked and loaded here. This is the Hoof Podcast on the Cover One Network, man. We are glad to be here. Glad to be giving you everything we can from a content-wise. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow the Hoof Podcast and all of our contributors there. I am Sterling. We have Anthony over here, Anthony and Eric, sorry. And we are going to be signing out. We just want to say go Bills and enjoy your freaking week.
Go Bills, baby.
Go Bills. See you next week.